Calling that to order. And we are on item 8.4, council chambers audiovisual system upgrade. Can I get a motion on this?
Oh.
Well, who would like to make?
I'll make it because it's gonna be the same vote.
Yeah.
Thank you, administration, for getting this. It's sorely needed. I would like to make a motion that this is deferred to the next council for them to make this decision.
All right,
Is that pretty much what you're gonna say, Judy?
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, we can agree on something. No, I want this deferred to the next council. So
so it'll be a motion that will be on the to-do list as bringing it forward to the next council.
Yeah.
Okay, discussion on that? I agree, it's desperately needed. And, you know, looking at them, I don't know what the difference is, but there was almost a 40-some thousand difference on one. I'd want to know more. If it was me, what's the difference in 40,000? Anyways, that's, I agree with putting it forward. Okay. Any other discussion on that? All in favor? Carried. Moving on to the employee wage and benefit compensation review, 8.5, get a motion on this one.
I'll grab that one.
Go ahead.
Make a motion that council receive this also for information.
Okay. I would prefer that this was like, for me, it would be the same motion that Councillor Wagle made, that this get brought forward to the next council, so that it's not forgotten about.
And the reason it's in front of council is because we had a scheduled delegation at the last meeting. So that's the usual process for administration to follow it up with a report to council, and this will be presented in the operating budget and at that time for the new council. Okay.
Yeah, it was very interesting to look at it and see where things have changed and stuff, but. Okay, any other discussion on this item?
I'm good.
Okay, so you have a motion to forward this compensation review to the next council. All in favor? On to item 8.6, the subdivision appeal board member email or motion. So,
Yeah,
I'll make this motion just to get this started and then we can discuss it. I'll make the motion that we appoint Roxanne Perron to the to be a subdivision appeal board member for High Prairie, just to get the ball rolling. And I'll turn it over to you to.
yeah, and I have asked for, who this person is. I haven't received any information today. I just received this email this morning. So, but I did follow it up and asked her, well, who is this person? We tried to have 2 appeal hearings 30 days ago and a little more than 30 days ago and just last week, and we didn't have quorum. So we're trying to make sure we have quorum for the 3rd time we try to have this appeal hearing. So,
What happened in the second one? Why there wasn't, like, you wouldn't have had a person back out at the last minute like it was the first time, I'm assuming.
yeah, they just didn't have the 3rd person showing it, so.
Or was they supposed to go up and then didn't?
I I'm not quite sure on that point, but the fact that they couldn't find that third person, I think it was because they couldn't find a third person. Is that what you recall to Wendy? Yeah.
So we
I think
didn't have
that's-
everybody come down and convene and then,
We had to officially convene. We had to do it officially that gather. Then. And then we have one more chance at this, a third chance at this. I think it's October 2nd. And if that fails quorum, then it goes to a judicial tribunal. That's what I've been told. So it's, and however much time that's gonna be, but I have received two applications, other applications. Yesterday or this morning and then a couple of days ago. And I'll be submitting those into the SDAB board. But this has come to us now and we want to be, and those two people that applied have to be trained. Whereas this person has been trained and retrained in August. So she'd be ready to go. And we'd be assured of a quorum on October 2nd.
it is, and this would be as part of our commitment to the joint subdivision appeal board. Do we have other members on there from the town?
No.
I thought we had people trained.
They aren't available.
Oh,
So this is highly frustrating. I've asked this question before, back in April. I'm asking it again for the third time because I casually talked to you about this maybe a couple of meetings ago. We have two ISDAB trained individuals on council. There's a immediate appointment. I pointed you to the, I think the note that Eva Bailey had sent out, I'm not sure where the disconnect is. And I don't know why we were not informed, those of us that are committee approved. We reinforced that back in February. You were here, Mr. Joy. So can you explain to me the disconnect?
Not at this point, no, and I'm not aware. Who are the two local
Did you
people?
look at the committee list?
I haven't. I've been relying on the county to establish quorum.
I'm just looking at the council appointments and there's nobody on that list.
It is on there, I'm sure.
Well, I'm just looking here, hey, the subdivision.
Well, then this is not the right one because the one that Bailey had sent out after our organizational meeting.
So it's a different, it's not sort of a latest one then, it's a different one. Okay.
It's never changed, Mr. Mayor, from 2022 or whenever we were on the committee, the training was taken, that's never changed, like no one, it's never changed. I don't know why that's blank.
The other thing, and I don't know the answer, so I'm just gonna say, and I've heard, is are council members still allowed on the subdivision appeal? Are council members not allowed?
I believe they are not allowed.
There's
I've actually sat on the.
something on the screen, Wendy, I can't. read it.
Something.
But there's a message on there, I'm not sure if it's what it says.
Oh, that's okay.
Councillor Stenhouse, go ahead.
So yes, when I was asked to sit on this board in Slave Lake and at Big Lakes County, there was a commitment that we would make. And I have showed up twice now for this appeal board and no quorum. They should know in advance if they have quorum or not. There's only the special circumstances where they fouled at the last minute. Now, this last one, they knew ahead of time that they wouldn't have quorum. Why did they not advertise it is canceled so that people don't take the day off work and prepare, all prepared for it, and then find out at the very last minute that there's no quorum?
I'll ask about the procedures and protocol tomorrow. I'll get an answer for you tomorrow.
And if we are in desperate need of applicants, why does this not come to on our website as attention? We desperately need members at large to sit on this.
Well,
We
we did
really need-
advertise. We did advertise recently and that's why we got 2 applications in the last couple of days.
Okay, but they have been. It's been what? Over a month since the last one, and we were in need of.
And then they have to be trained. So it'll all take time. And with the first appeal hearing, one of the 3 members had a conflict of interest. They had been employed by the complainant.
Yeah, I get that at the last minute, well. Again, I really don't get it at the last minute because you do have a briefing of what you were doing. What you were going to. So this not meeting quorum. I said, I can see at the last minute, there's something, but we knew in advance if 3 people were gonna show up, 4 people were gonna show up for the board. This knowing in advance that you don't have quorum and yet still going through with it, it should have been advertised as canceled. And these are the reasons why, or postponed.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. That's people taking time off work to come into a meeting that they know is gonna be canceled, or that they hold a meeting for no reason when you know it's not gonna run. Seems ridiculous in terms of a procedure.
And how much has this cost us already? And we haven't even accepted an agenda because we're paying out people just to show up.
So I guess I'm hearing loud and clear that, this whole procedure is flawed in that way and it needs to be changed. And I would say that if we don't have any control over it and this is gonna continue to happen, that we should pull out of that subdivision to the joint one. Because, yeah, that's ridiculous. And the other thing is we do need to get some members on it. Now, we have some counselors that were trained in it. Can we use them? I don't know the answer to that. I thought that was mentioned last meeting, that we couldn't use counselors, but I could be wrong. That's what and we've got a bunch of hands up. We'll go Councillor Martins, Councillor Danaka.
Well, I still would like a response. I don't know when the matter changed. I sat and heard an appeal, and I was a council at the time, so explain to me how the rules have changed and when that came our way and why existing 2 officials that are trained are not listed. Where's the I still don't understand. I mean, I don't have an answer to my question. This is not the first time I'm asking. So what's the reason for the disappearance or the lack of knowledge by administration that 2 members exist? And when did the policy change that counselors who are trained cannot sit on the appeal board when I actually heard an appeal? About a year ago, I would say.
Answers.
Well, I'd like to.
Yeah, but we can get it with the CO or get back to us on that. Councillor Danaka?
Well, in looking it up, basically it says councillors may be allowed to sit on the SDAB. But I'm not sure that the composition of the SDAB is determined by a bylaw, which I'm not sure if we have, of what consists of the SDAB, but.
Well, we're part of that joint SDAB with.
But from what I'm looking at, like, a number of municipalities have, MD of Opportunity, 2 councillors and public. Grand Prairie has a committee. Sounds like it's allowed. I'm not sure, like, as Councillor Martin said, I don't know where the assumption was that councillors couldn't be on it. Or whatever the main issue is as to why this is not functioning like it should.
Councillor Wakel.
I'll hold up the Bible here. Persons may not be appointed an employee of the municipality. Person carries out subdivision development power into his function that is member of the municipal planning commission. A member of the subdivision and development appeal board may not participate in the hearing of the subdivision and development appeal board unless the member is qualified to do so in accordance. Oh, maybe I read this wrong. Oh, yeah. Okay, no, I think I read that wrong. Because I was thinking that they wouldn't be able to participate in it if they had participated in a discussion of the issue at hand, and we're talking about the fence at Darla Scouts across from the Legion, right? And did that come before all the council? Or did that?
No.
It did not. Okay, well, then yeah, it should be fine.
I'll get clarification. Okay. Or it's their council meeting tomorrow, but certainly by Thursday.
But this board is being administered by the Silver Lake, is that correct?
That's right.
So that's what we should be able to phone and get a ruling on it.
And I think the reason we went with this regional one was so that we could pick people from, okay, so there's a problem in High Prairie, we can get people from Slave Lake so that there, in theory, is no conflict of interest, I think was the thinking behind it. And also that there would always be enough people, so yeah, being dragged down for meetings twice when there's nothing, yeah, just be enough too.
All right, we also have, we don't know the answers to those questions at this time. We have a person that is, from what I see, recently retrained in August. Are we interested in approving her in case we need this
Yes.
person? And is this person from High Prairie? Are they from outside of High Prairie? We don't.
I don't know. That's what I asked
Oh, okay.
Cynthia.
Now, do we need somebody from town or can we have somebody from out of town
Could be,
just to representing us?
Somebody
Just
else.
be a rep?
Yep.
Do we know how many people we can have as reps on our side of it? What's our, has that agreement that we have?
I believe it's 2 from Prairie.
Can't remember those things. Councilor Martins?
Well, I'm not willing to approve anyone that we know nothing about, especially since we already have 2 members listed. I would like this council to acknowledge the 2 members that are listed or have trained, and we have not put out a call, and if we did, why? There was an email I sent to this council, earlier this year, in about February, is one of the things that was missed, and this was one of them, as an example of certain things that were being missed, and if you recall, this was one of them, so that was February. I remember there was a lady from Slave Lake, David, that sent you an email. I had sent it saying, as an example, hey, we have 2 members represented. So long short of it is, I think we're being preemptive. I'm not willing to support this, without any information, no application form, when we have 2 existing representatives already.
Councilor Stenos?
Yeah, there's too much, information missing here. So let's just say, for scenario's sake, that this lady lives in the county, why didn't the county scoop her up then? Like,
might be outside the county. She might be outside.
Okay, so then if she, so, but our agreement is County, Slave Lake, Swan River, Swan Hills. It has to be within our commitment here. And if she is from Swan Hills, why isn't she on Swan Hills's board then? Like, there's not enough information here. I agree with Councillor Marcus. There's just not enough information here to accept this.
All right, anybody else on it? Okay, so what we can, I'm just, I want to play the devil's advocate to see how we can move ahead and not have this. When's the next meeting? This is the October 2nd. Just playing the devil's advocate and not knowing that if we have two counselors that are available from town, problem is solved, no issues, right? If counselors cannot be on the subdivision appeal board, and we have a meeting October 2nd, what's the plan B at this point? I mean, can we get some more information on her, do an email vote so we can get it done before October 2nd? How do we need to do this? Because I don't want to see another meeting canceled for no reason. Can they not find another member from somewhere to sit on it? I guess I'm just wondering, because if all of these communities have multiple people on it, why can't they get the three to sit on it? Like, I don't get it. I mean, other people might have jobs, aren't able to get away, that kind of thing, but they should be, I'll get Councillor Danaka.
So since we're a joint group with Vance, Councillor Stenhouse, all those different municipalities, who has the terms of reference?
We have a copy of it.
And when
I know we've seen it. Huh?
I honestly don't know what it says.
I can't remember because we've read it, it was in one of our packages, or maybe it was in the intermunicipal collaborative framework in there, like a copy of that agreement. I know I read it, but I don't remember the specifics in it. I've looked at it, I shouldn't say I remember. So what's a plan B? How can we progress if we need this person, they're trained, other situations don't work? Because I agree, if we've got people here, they're trained, we know about them, I'd rather do that. But if we don't, I want to see this meeting go ahead on the 2nd. Are we able to get,
You after that.
what's that?
It goes to a judge after that.
Yeah,
So I don't want that.
and we're paying for it.
We've been paying for 2 meetings that,
I agree, that needs to change, but going back to how can we work for this October 2nd, is there any issues with doing an email vote? If you could get some more information about her, if we need it?
Yep, I'll get that information as soon as possible.
I feel like we need to address though that the voices that I've been hearing is that there's somebody here too that can do it. And so I'm confused that we just keep going round and round and round. So we get this person when you have people here. And I guess for me, that needs to be dealt with, first of all. Why can we not? Why were we calling, Councillor Stenhouse and not calling Councillor Martin?
Exactly.
I was not called. I was not called to sit on the board. I came as an observer.
So and I think you're right, John, that's step one, is we need to clarify, and it sounds like we have 2 people that are trained.
Yeah.
At
The
7
question is, and again, I don't know where I've heard this or think this, or is that a counselor can't be on it, and we're hearing that they should be able to, but we should clarify that, number one. That's, and if we can be on that appeal board, the issue is solved, no need to go any further. But if they're not able to sit on that, I'd just like to make sure we agree on a plan B so that we don't miss that. And plan B would be then we need to get some information about where she's from.
I would say
we could maybe do an email vote
she's either from Valley View or from Falher.
with the last name.
Yeah.
But then that's not part of our regional group.
Well, maybe we clarify where the member has to come from to be sure too. Like I said, we need to have that terms of reference from that subdivision appeal board.
Yeah, I think it just needs some clarification there, that's all.
Yeah.
Or have administration to personally contact Swan Hills, Swan River, Slave Lake County, saying we really need someone. And there can be more than 3 on the board. 3 is just the minimum. If 4 show up, great. If 5 show up, great. Then we put out an urgent call. We need somebody.
Well, I think Slave Lake's been doing that on our behalf, but I don't know what good of a job they're doing. That's part of the concern, right? That's what I heard.
And that's why we make it personal, that administration reach out to them and say, who are your representatives from your town? And are they available?
Well, we can
Sure,
find
this
out
didn't-
who to reach. What's that?
You sure this didn't come to council, this fence thing? Like we,
No,
It came through, they submitted a permit application, it went to MMSA, and the decision was made, and then there was an appeal, a complaint, and then we had the hearings, so it didn't come to council.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I made the motion to appoint this person. I'm going to withdraw that motion and make a new motion that council directs administration to look into whether the counselors that have been trained can sit on the subdivision appeal board.
So Councilor Martins has been trained, and who else?
Council.
Yes, this. So that's, and if not, then direct administration to get information about this person that is submitted, that is trained, and send it out to council for a electronic vote. Make sense? And we do need to work with administration. I won't put it into the motion, but this clarification of calling a meeting and having everybody show up and then canceling it is ridiculous.
It is.
That's ridiculous. All right, everybody understand the motion?
Yes.
All in favor? It is carried. Moving on then to staff's report and action list. Can I get a motion on this one? Councilor Gunn?
The council received the CAO David Joy's report and action list for information.
Great. I'll turn it over to our CAO to give us any highlights.
Really, the election is heating up, so it's occupying a lot of my time. Reported what's happened between September 9th and 23rd. And certainly supplied where we are, the status of the strategic priorities. Very little has been done on the strategic priorities other than what council has heard about crime reduction and economic development. We have provided a list. Wendy went back and as far as, just make sure nothing's fallen through the cracks. We do have a lot to catch up on. There's been a lot of direction from council. And we will be working on that throughout October. But a lot of my time now is going to be absorbed with the election organization.
Just a question for me, I'm looking at the action list and I don't see status for, well, there's two things in here. One of them is projects and the other one, I guess, is motions. And that's a little different than we've seen before, but all good. But on some of the motions, whether they were completed or ongoing, isn't really filled in.
Yeah, we'll update that for the next, for the new council. We wanted to capture everything we possibly could see to make sure we can act on it the next 5 weeks.
All right, questions, comments for our CEO, anything? Basically, in that kind of thing.
On this, action list, on the page 9 and 10, I'm just curious. The second one from the bottom, receipt for information register Alberta Community Conference, that's done?
Yeah, I've registered for all the candidates, all the new, whoever the new council is, not only for Ad Munis, but also for the George Cuff orientation in Peace River.
Right.
At the end of October. So when I hear from you, council, who wants to attend, and I hope everybody attends, whether you're current councillor being reelected or a new candidate, I hope everybody will go for the refresher. The George Cuff orientation is a particularly interesting one for council, but the Ad Munis is a standard requirement.
Right. Okay, so there, you registered them for the one in Peace River, and then there's one the next day in Grand Prairie, which is the,
Yeah.
they're not the same ones, are they?
Different,
Different, okay.
different focus.
Okay,
I haven't booked any hotels yet, of course, but that'll come after the election.
He's booked hotels for the Alberta Community stuff in Calgary.
Not for the conferences yet, not for the November conferences. I haven't done any of that yet.
I think you should, because if you don't, they're gonna be staying in Okotoks.
Yeah, okay.
Might not have names, but at least you can book the rooms.
Yeah.
And probably the same thing for those, the conference in Peace River. Well, we don't need rooms there, just to get, yeah.
Yep, okay, I'll organize them.
Councilor Martins.
Collected some of my questions since August 11. Some of these, in fact, all of these have to do with our upcoming elections. To our returning officer, when will there be an official list of candidates? I know there's an unofficial list. Is the official
It's posted.
Okay, correct.
And I posted it on MA Connect. I sent the signed report on the official candidates. I sent that to Municipal Affairs. And I think Wendy, I don't know if you've
Posted.
changed it from unofficial to official on the website.
Okay, like I said, this is just a list of questions, so
Yeah.
great, that one's done.
Yep.
How were, if there were ever errors on the forms, how were they identified? Was that your role to, if there were any,
When you say errors on the forms as
the
in,
nomination forms, if there were, I'm not certain that there are, but who's responsible to vet those or look them over?
I don't research whether they're primary residences or not. And I believe I read somewhere it's not. If somebody puts in a complaint saying they aren't a resident of the town, then I act on that.
Okay,
But I do review to make sure all the spaces are filled that should be filled on those nomination forms and notice of intent.
okay, very good. The next question is on the registrar of electors. Do you know where, do you have that? Is that something we have?
Yeah, I've been doing it at the beginning of each month to make sure I can draw them off. As soon as October 1st comes, then I'll have an official list. I will say I'm surprised that more people haven't gone on Voter Link that are new residents. I think at the beginning of September, I only saw 17 additions since April. And that kind of concerns me, but the province has corrected whatever IT problem they had, but I'm still surprised so few have gone on Voter Link to add. But I'll produce it October 1st, and that's the final list.
Okay, good, thank you. Next is about motions from this council. Did we make a motion about the advanced voting day and the hours of
Yes,
operation?
and the original bylaw. Yeah. It's there. I actually looked the other day just to make sure it was.
So it is October 14th, is that correct?
Yes, the advance.
Okay, and then did we make a motion about the printing of ballots?
No, not yet.
What else do you- scrutineer forms, I was asked to do it.
Need a motion to print ballots. We've never done one before.
At the, there was a checklist from, I don't know, I'm assuming Alberta Meetings or Elections Alberta, and they had dates set for each thing. And that was one of them. So it was in, that's why I'm asking, because it was a date identified in there, like as a,
I have a calendar of dates, but I don't recall that we had to get approval from. I did send the printer the specifications that come from municipal affairs. So that to make sure that the ballots are printed properly.
okay, very good. The next question is on scrutineer forms. I've been asked, and I don't know, I've directed them to you, so do we have them?
So far, we have 2 scrutineers. They have to fill out a form, and I also provide them with the Provincial Elections Alberta form on the conduct that they have to follow. But there's a form we have to have filled out.
So they can come to the office and pick it up? Yep. Perfect. Call for moderators was another question that was asked. What's the question here? Oh, was, for example, did we put out a call for moderators, or was Mr. Olson hand or personally selected?
Just selected because the timeline is so short that I asked him, and apparently he's done this before.
Next, I was asked which institutions will receive the voter boxes. I think that's the question.
Well, we'll have stations at the hospital, JB Woods, and Pleasant View, and of course, council chambers.
And then that leads into chain of custody. I don't know, maybe the existing council can add some color here. Were there any issues with chain of custody or seals at the last election? I wasn't paying attention, so I don't know. Okay.
That was an issue last
I could say that it was raised as an issue. However, it was handled the same way as other communities in that there was an accusation that RCMP had to shift those from area to area. That did not happen. However, it didn't happen in other communities. And from what I know, that was not needed. That was raised as an issue. I don't know what you need to do, but that's what I was told after, is that it was not needed. We did what other communities did. I don't know what's needed as a chain of custody.
But can we get that clarified so we don't have to go through this again?
So the chain of custody,
When you're going from JB Woods here, with the boxes, what?
Do we need an armored guard or what?
Exactly.
There was something about the specific thing was about seals, because I have the word seal written down. So something about a seal. I don't know what that means, but I don't know if there was a seal, isn't a seal, something about the boxes and seals.
yeah, I'm still learning and reading and listening to training modules, so trying to figure out the logistics of everything, and I'll be
to look into.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Cause there's gonna be a recount no matter what.
Was there a recount?
Yes.
Every election, there's a recount. Yes, yeah, there is.
The last one it was. I don't know what.
The last one was.
And the other one before. He requests it every year.
You have to be within a certain range to get a recount.
That's right.
0.5%.
That's right. I think that's everything. Thank you, David Joy.
Okay. Anything else?
I got a couple.
Okay.
So I want to talk about the September 12th bullet. I noticed you put that in your report, but you did not include that in September 11th, that we had come in, but were unable to read until the town lawyer was contacted. Does the rest of council know that?
September 12th?
Yeah.
So, sorry, what was the question?
So why was, if you put this into your report, the day before, on September 11th,
Mhm.
Councillor Martins and Councillor Stenhouse came in requesting to read the notes, but was refused until the town lawyer was contacted.
Well, that only took a few minutes and, whereas on September 12th, you were here for 2.5 hours. So there's no intention to exclude, but if you really want me to start identifying by the minute time spent during my day.
No, the point is, does the rest of council know this?
I have an intention to advise them tonight we close.
Okay. And just 1 second, you lost my, September 10th, you include in your report that there was a discipline of an employee. Is there a reason why this would come into the CAO's report?
Because it occupied quite a bit of my day.
But yet, when there's a new hire where it's not put in here?
A new hire.
Yes. Whenever there's a new hire?
If it occupied a lot of my time, I would put it in, but I wouldn't identify the employee.
Okay. That's it for my questions.
All right. Everybody's done. Questions for CAO? We had a motion. See this report for information. All in favor? It's carried. Moving on to council correspondence. We'll start with the Caribou Center grand opening.
Move for information.
All right. Any discussion on that? All in favor? The National Veteran Week Speakers Program. Motion on this one.
Let's declare this week.
I'll make a motion that we receive it for information. And that council informs anybody that might be interested of this opportunity. Any discussion? All in favor? Carried. Northern Lakes College, letter of support for pre-employment cooking.
I'll move it to town right away. Letter of endorsement for this for the fall.
Okay. Any discussion? I know this would be great for the town because the college has that beautiful commercial kitchen in the campus and it hasn't been getting used to that much. So being able to get a pre-employment cooking program in there would be great. Councillor Ishishin?
Yeah, I was just gonna add to that. It's, you hear of, not just the younger folks, but you hear a lot of people really interested in that and it's huge. Yeah, that's great for the area. So it's great to see, yeah.
Okay, we have the motion to give a letter of support. All in favor? Carried. Response to the letter of support for for the summer games. Motion.
See for information.
All right. Any discussion on that? We've already given them our letter of support. This is just saying that they're going to be making up their mind and we'll go from there. All in favor? It's carried. All right. Notice of upcoming meetings. Is there anything there? Nothing coming up. It's probably our last meeting.
Yeah, just waste management. And it's a meeting on Thursday.
Okay.
FCSS has a meeting this Friday.
Northern Alberta elected leaders is meeting Saturday.
And the airport as well as meeting. Well, a couple weeks early.
Everything's going on, but yeah. Okay, moving on to written and verbal reports. Councillor Tanaka.
No report.
Councillor Dunn.
No report.
All right. Councillor Martins.
So there's 3 things to highlight. The watershed met to recap the summer outreach programs. We did deliver the state of the watershed report and we went over and approved financials. Secondly, I've mentioned this already, but the appreciation event for AHS did go through September 11th. A big thank you to Big Lakes County, their staff that helped set up, as well as AHS's facilities and maintenance staff, and the site director there, Samantha. And for the only counselor outside of our committee that volunteered, she was actually there before I got there, which surprised me. So thank you, Councilor Judy Stenhouse. You were the head of the party. The lady from ARPA asked me who you were. You were quite the
Like with the party?
Like the party, yes. Yeah. So thank you very much for coming and helping out. And yeah, it was such a good day. We had signage, we had Southeast News there, Dr. Oza, Dr. Nyazi, people from all over, from JP Woods, volunteers. Helen Henderson was there. Obviously the committee members, one counselor from the county, Mr. Ken Matthews, and so forth. So, and I shared this already. I was saying thank you to as folks came in, that they were actually thanking us. So it was really cool. And our PAP lady was there as well. She had a bunch of things that she had to check off with the physician, so she did that. And it was good to see her come live to our event. Thirdly, the Growth Alberta event occurred on September 19th. This was we identified regional assets, barriers. Big Lakes County was there, as was the same participants from really the first event. Council. The big thing that came out of that was that we focused on a membership model and making it more inclusive. So unlike what's come to us before, hey, let's join at 1.60 per capita, we've actually looked at a model that's far more inclusive and it includes a first-time incentive. So a really low barrier to entry for not only us, like municipalities with lesser populations, but also for some, solopreneurs or small business owners. So, we went through that and spent a good time doing that. Like I said, our partners, Swan Hills, Big Lakes County, and so forth were there. They talked a lot about the living framework and used the tree metaphor. Again, you'll see that come forth in the report. About that. I mean, I'm happy to answer questions, but we did both, Richard Mifflin and I did talk about the regional initiative with our new partner Deloitte, and the group was excited to hear that. They've also set a time to meet in the November timeframe. They'll contact you, our CAO, when the new council is in place, and that's as far as some of the takeaways. That is my report. I'm leaving it for information.
Okay, any questions? All in favor? For my report, I know there's been a lot of meetings, but I'm gonna focus on the most recent ones, because it could take a long time. We did a whole bunch, but I'll do the one since our last one. But I did want to bring up one thing just because I said that I would, and I was, before I get to the more formal meetings, I was contacted by Northern Lakes College, and they were upset with the comments made by Councillor Stenhouse that implied that they had wrecked the roads and somebody needed to repair it. There was no damage. They did not like being defamed in a public meeting. So if we're gonna be doing those things, we should make sure that we're accurate. Just, I said I would bring that up. Heart River Housing, and I had a meeting. One of the big items coming out of there, and you should have it's in your package, a letter from Darla Stout.
Driscoll.
What's that?
Driscoll.
Oh, Driscoll, yeah, I'm sorry. Darla Driscoll, sorry. And so what's happened is the province is changing the way that they want Heart River Housing to approve funding. To approve who can get into the social housing. Right now, just for people's information, Heart River Housing as a board, and this has been going on for the last 15, 20 years anyways, is they have focused on the working poor. And they have done that by having, they work on a point system, and the higher number of points that you have, the more likely you're going to get into a unit. And it's things like how many kids do you have, what money do you have coming in, all of those things. Heart River Housing has always had some points set aside for people that are working, sort of the working poor, they're working but in a low wage position. And they've wanted to focus on them because these people, if they're working, but their option really is to just go on welfare or social assistance. And in fact, when you look at what they get to take home because they're working, it is less than people on social assistance. So they're saying, look, we want to have people that are going to, a system that's going to encourage people to go to work and not just live off of social assistance. So they've been setting aside 25 points for that, and that helps to, and there's still lots of people on social assistance that are getting in, but there are also people that are working poor. The government wants to take away that 25 points. The board of Heart River Housing wants all of the municipalities that are members to lobby to keep that 25 points to support the working poor. So I would like, and I will make a motion that the council will write a letter of support for keeping the 25 points to keep the working poor. So with that motion, I want to see if anybody's got questions on that in there. And this has got to go out fairly soon. That's why I'm bringing it up now, and it just came out recently, so. Right.
So I quickly just seen this before the meeting, and in the conclusion, I guess I need more understanding of what the second bullet is in the conclusion, where we have seen this force them out of employment.
Because they choose to go to where they go to assistance because they make more money. And if they don't do that, they can't afford to keep the house.
Basically, yeah. So the working poor, if they have to pay market rent, they can't afford it. And basically at that point, they just can't afford to live. So by giving them subsidized housing, they can afford to work and live. And what happens with those that are not able, that can't get into subsidized housing, they often quit and go on social assistance because they make more money on social assistance than they do working.
So do people on social assistance live in these houses?
Several do, yes. That's what Heart River Housing does.
Okay, so I don't even know how to ask this. So will this push the market for a need of more social housing? I
Well,
guess.
I mean, it's what we've been doing forever, right? Like, this is what Heart River Housing's been doing for 20 years. Can there be room for more social housing in High Prairie? Absolutely. We have a wait list in High Prairie, but again, do we want more social housing in town? No, this isn't going to change that mix. It's still going to be the same as what we've had for 20 years. But if this change would mean that the people that are working would not likely be able to continue to work, or it would be much more difficult for them. Okay, anybody else? So I have a motion that we will send a letter of support to keep the 25 points.
Always sending that.
This is going to go to they wanted it to go to the Minister of Housing. Yeah.
Maybe for the Alberta Communities Conference, schedule a meeting with the Minister of Housing as well, and just make sure we have copious notice for the new council.
Yes, that would be a good idea to see if we can get a meeting with them.
Yeah.
So I will amend my motion to say, and see if we can get a meeting with the Minister of Housing at the Alberta Communities Conference.
Been here long enough, you can still call it AU, maybe know what it is.
Yes. Okay, anything more on that? All in favor? All right, the other thing I wanted to just bring up, we had the Alberta North Central Alliance meeting today. From that, we had a presentation on Smoky River economic development, basically promoting their hemp plant and saying that, you know, people in this region, if they want to do secondary production of hemp materials, because they have the plant, maybe it opens the door for secondary businesses. So from an economic development point, it's something that our community has as an advantage moving forward. I heard there that the High Prairie Native Friendship Center appeal to get back into the provincial board has been denied. So they will not be getting the funding through them any longer. MLA Scott Sinclair gave us an update on Highway 88 that they're doing some upgrades and repaving in that area. There's a plan to do some of it, but the area that's in town and where the truck stop is, there's way more work to be done, and that's going to take a year or more to get that all worked out. And if we want to have Scott attend those sessions at Alberta Munis, we need to email him and say, here's the meetings we have and when they are, and he's volunteered to attend them. I asked him about the Youth Assessment Center. He did not know the answer, other than he has the same feeling that we do, that it hasn't been approved. But he said that we should get an answer one way or another from them, and he was going to see if he could get a meeting with the minister Turton to get an answer. And he was going to see if we can set that up the next while, so that's in his vote. The ANCA is going to be setting up a Economic Development Association course for some time, likely in January. That will be free for each member can send 3 people to it. So that's coming up. They're going to apply on a grant to hold a regional workshop to address workforce development issues, like why we have so little people graduating high school in our region, and be able to link people looking for jobs, that kind of thing. So they're applying on a grant, much like they did with the mental health and addictions. The tourism operator or opportunity study that we've done, they're going to investigate how to improve cell coverage in the region. That was one of the recommendations that study came out with. So they're going to look into that. And then there's going to be a Community Futures is holding a Business on the Lake conference February 7th, and ANCA is going to partner with them in putting that on.
February?
February 7th. Yeah, just so it'll probably be coming back to the future council, but just wanted to give a heads up. That's something that they were doing. And the other meeting I attended was the tourism group. We finalized the terms of reference for that group. They have got, I'm going to say, tentative name and a logo that a subgroup has looked at. And it's got to go to the main group for approval. But they were looking at it's Wildland Country Tourism. That's the name that they're looking at. It's got a cool logo with a bear and stuff in it, but that's where that's at, but it has to be reviewed again. So with that, I move my report for information unless there's any questions. All in favor? Carried. Moving on, Councillor Stenhouse,
No report.
Councillor Wakel.
Got a couple of things here. Just wanted to report on the meeting that I attended for John, the got all letters wrong. MNS. MNSA in Berwyn. Decided that I didn't want to get up at stupid o'clock in the morning, so I attended by Zoom. Highlights of the meeting: the 2023 financial statement was presented. It was all good. The 2024 financial statement would be available in about a month or so, they said, which is now, I guess it's been a while. The delay was due to miscommunication, and the board was not aware of it. Problem has been fixed. The web mapping app is up and will be a valuable addition, and they're hoping to keep the budget the same. That's the highlights. of that meeting there. The other one was I did the community cleanup and more people showed up. Corey Berger was there, Colleen Greer, myself and the boy went, and we just concentrated on McIntyre Park there on the corner. And there's so many cigarette butts in there, so I contacted Megan over at the Watershed Council to see if they had any sort of grants that were available for ashtrays on a pole. And I'm gonna continue to follow up with this, even doesn't matter what happens next month. I'm gonna follow up with this a little bit because I'd like to see that one cigarette butt will contaminate 1,000 liters of water. So, I mean, the boy and I probably picked up at least a couple of hundred in there. So disgusting and gross, but you know, I like to think that I saved several thousand liters of water in the process. And I think that if there's an option for an ashtray, that I think that people will use it. And one of the things that Megan said was they want their logo on it and then like a QR code that kind of links things that says this is what a cigarette butt will do to the water. And I think that's all fairly easily set up. Like I said, I just got that email this morning, so I'll continue to follow up with that a little bit and send a report to David if I'm not successful next month. And yeah, so that's my report. Well, I'll move it for information. Finish the sentence.
Anything for Councillor Wakel? All in favor? Councillor Yushishin?
Not too much to report, just I was too at the Health Attraction and Retention barbecue for our healthcare folks. It was a pleasure to see everyone. It was a pleasure to thank them for the work that they do, and a great turnout, absolutely, as well. So that was really nice, and actually it was a beautiful day as well. So everybody was able to sit outside, and so that worked out great. And I think I mentioned already another barbecue for our flyers at the airport committee put on the barbecue, and we welcomed flyers from High Prairie and surrounding area. And it was great to see a lot of the family flyers because there was the little ones as well. So the families came out as well as a few folks that we'd seen last year as well. So it was great to welcome them and showcase our airport as well. And that is my report. I'll move my report unless there's any questions.
Councillor Stenhouse?
About how many people showed up for the airport barbecue, you know?
I didn't hear a number, just kind of guess. Let's see, maybe around 20, but it might be a little bit high. Yeah. Yeah, from Peace River, Slave Lake. So yeah, a few of the return folks that we'd seen. Not as many as last year, because last year was the huge region fly-in that was here, and I believe it was in Slave Lake this year. This year was just our airport.
Okay, all in favor? Carried. Council timesheets, get a motion, okay? Any questions? All in favor? Carried. And with that, we will take 7-minute break, come back at 9, and we'll go into the closed session. Councillor Knifel?
I would like to make a motion before 9 o'clock to extend the meeting past 11 if need be, so that we can finish anything that deals with this agenda and this council, because there's nothing hanging over to the next council.
Okay. Thoughts, comments?
Is that past 10 or what?
Past 10 or 11.
Past 10. Yeah,
During times 10. Yeah. If needed.
Judy, are you planning on leaving?
Yeah,
So before we vote on this and before you leave, Judy, if it will make you feel more comfortable, I will leave so that you can participate in this. I know it's because of what I said, how I said it. So to make you feel comfortable, I will leave if that will put your mind at ease to stay.
no,
But thanks for the opportunity.
Well, if she's leaving, we can't extend the meeting, so we have to have all council.
No consensus, Robin.
Yep.
well,
We got enough.
consensus of the people in attendance, right? That's what we would need. We'd need everybody to agree to go later if we need it. So just anybody object to it. Okay, well then, we've got a motion.
I'm not sure that I want to extend beyond now.
Oh, okay, so you're objecting to it?
I'll
Okay,
pretend.
so there's no use making the motion if somebody's gonna
Okay.
object. Okay? Because it has to be unanimous.